What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
I am Eddie D.
And I'm Nicole.
And as I'm saying, I've got a cough. And you are watching the Affinity Saga podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We certainly appreciate you. Hey, we see you over in the back. You need anything? What's up?
No.
Have a seat. Thank you so much again for watching, for reading the book. If you haven't gotten a copy of the book yet, go get you a copy of the book.
Yes.
Again, we are spoiling the heck out of the book. So if you do not have a book yet, you don't want to listen to this. Otherwise, we're going to spoil it for you unless you just don't care. But thank you so much for your support. Again, you can pick up a copy of the Affinity Theory wherever you buy your books. We are just grateful for the opportunity to be able to share our nuggets, to share our thoughts, to share analysis, the whole 9 yards. I know Nikki's got a lot to say about the book, and I'm enjoying everything she got to say about the book. It's been so awesome to hear your thoughts for the 9,000th time, but it's always good to hear them. And so we are on episode 5 called Dazzling Debut. And so to recap, in the last chapter, Symone has been walked through the entire campus of the Elite Grand Hall, and Malcolm has, reluctantly accepted the responsibility of, having been recruit.
Has he though really accepted?
I mean, he ain't got no choice. This is his job, so he got to do what he got to do. So it ain't like he can't. So he's reluctantly accepted responsibility for what he has to do for both Duncan and Symone. Mm-hmm. And then they go and they go to intelligence. They met Stephanie and Dax. Well, Symone meets Stephanie and Dax for the first time. They get Stephanie for the second time, but officially in her role, the capacity, what she does there in intelligence. And they got the dossier on the collector and all that the collector has been doing. And Malcolm and Symone have their first kind of connection beyond the powers that begins to break the wall down between him and her. And so now they're about to go on mission to stop a bank robbery in progress. And that's where we meet our characters in chapter 5.
Yeah.
Do you have anything?
So to start it off, I remember us talking about the fact that each book has its own playlist of songs.
Yes.
And so I think that's cool, and was wondering if they can actually listen to the playlist, like where can they?
Yes. So if you are a music junkie like I am, I have a playlist for every book that is coming out, and spoiler alert for that.
5?
I'm on 6 right now. So spoiler alert as well for that. If you go to the playlists, you will find out what the name of the books are. And so that's just a little insider information for you guys. So I do have, it's called basically the Affinity Theory. It's the first one, and then they go in order of the Affinity Saga 2, the Affinity Saga 3, the Affinity Saga 4. And so if you so desire to hear the music that has inspired the books, you can go to the playlist and listen to them. Those playlists were very instrumental because I'm a music head. They helped me to stay in rhythm and flow and context of what I was wanting to write. And so I know as we have been talking, as you've been listening to the playlist, you weren't too fond of playlist number 1 in the beginning because it was very love heavy, very sensual heavy compared to the other soundtracks. And so I remember we had a couple of conversations about that in the past, but it was more so to the fact of trying to play up Malcolm and Symone's relationship and kind of the ins and outs of that. And then as we get further along,
them songs fire, I'm telling you.
Yes, the songs are fire.
Playlist 1, it's not that bad. It is more
on the sensual side though, for real. And as I've gone back and listened to the playlist over time, I too even felt like that. And sometimes I'll skip through some of the songs that are on there because it's like, okay, this song is really relevant. Like this song does not need to be on here. And I've wanted to go back and actually pare down some of the playlist because I realized what I was trying to do is I was prepping myself for the next book. And so some of the songs in some of the playlists don't belong there because they're actually just getting me ready for the next book. And so some of the songs in like playlist 1, they actually belong in 2. Some of the songs in 2 belong in 3, and so on and so forth as it's getting me ready for the next book at the time that I was writing like book 2, already thinking about book 3 and stuff. But no, the playlists are out there. They're on. So I'm on Spotify. I'm Team Spotify all the way. And so if you have Spotify account, just look up either my name, Eddie D. Williams, or look
Eddie D or Eddie D
D E E. I think it's Eddie D E E.
Eddie.
Yeah.
D-E-E.
Yes.
Williams.
The same as it is on the book. Because my Facebook account is that name, the same thing, Eddie D-E-E Williams.
Gotcha.
So if you go look me up, all my playlists are there. You can go and listen to all the songs that inspired the book, all the songs that inspired the saga. We're talking about it this weekend. That it'd probably be cool to put all of them in a big mix and just call it the Affinity Saga.
Yeah.
And so I'm probably gonna do that sometime tomorrow when I have some free time. But yeah, so there is a playlist out there. Again, a lot of the songs, just basically all of them, just inspired me as I was going through my writing process. Like I can remember when I'm getting ready to do a battle scene, play that battle music one time. There's a song by All Good Things called "For the Glory." That is like the theme song for any time they go into battle. That's the, we're gonna stand up top to the stage. Yeah. Like that's the jam. For any time they go into battle, it's kind of like the Power Ranger song for them.
I can see that. I like that.
And so so that's that is that. That's a little book.
Yeah, the songs in the playlist. I love them. I'm not sure what my favorite playlist is. I don't know if is it 2 or 4?
I think. Well, I know for me, it's a mix between 2 and 3.
Okay.
For me, 4 is bomb. 4 is bomb. I ain't gonna hold her. But but right now, it's between 2 and 3 for me in terms of like if you go like track for track, I think 2 and 3 kind of have my heart. But 4, I think 4 is probably your favorite one because there's a lot of jams on there. Because it's like a reset of the table, and so it's a lot of brand new material that just came out because of who that music is for.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Okay. So I mean, y'all go check it out. Eddie D-E-E Williams.
Yep.
On Spotify.
It's written right here on the
Look
book.
For the Infinity Saga.
Affinity Theory. Well, the first playlist, the first book is the Affinity Theory.
Okay.
So look for the Affinity Theory. And then every playlist after that is the Affinity Saga 2, the Affinity Saga 3.
I mean, if there's a way, can we like put it?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, we'll put it in the links in the comments. That'll work.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
All right.
Cool.
Get started with episode 5, Dazzling debut. You have anything before?
Well, let me check my little notes.
Because I'm gonna jump right in.
Let's see. Okay, so basically with this particular chapter, this was the opportunity to see Starburst in battle. And so this mission is completely unconnected to anything else going on in the book. This is just a random mission that came up in the middle of nowhere, and they were the ones called to accept it. Called to take on the role, to take on the responsibility. So this battle is completely unconnected to anything going on big.
The Collector, really?
Nothing going on with the Collector.
They're trying to get...
Yep, this is
so
nothing.
Then, it's so weird because you won't know this until later. We're not going to spoil it for anybody. But the elite is the elite. They're only called for the battles where they don't think anybody else
can handle this.
So why call them to this battle?
That's a very good question that won't be answered.
And we can't answer that. And I think it is because she does need to get out there and to make sure that the flaws that she's going to make are not made again, which is what I wanted to jump right into. And the fact of noticing it's right there. And noticing how at the very beginning of this chapter, and like I said in the last episode, how even though they are superheroes, they still like and want to look good. Like she's just reveling in her uniform, like once again, they are superheroes, yeah, but they still like to look good. And I think it's very important that she is reveling in her uniform, because I feel like that's going to be important in a few minutes when we see the mistakes she starts to make, but the mistakes that she makes. And so, jump right in.
Well, before you do, again, going back to it being unconnected, you're absolutely right. There is an agenda attached to this,
and we're not going to say, yeah,
can't tell you anything about it because it's going to ruin,
or whose agenda it is,
because it's just going to ruin everything.
Yeah,
but you're absolutely right, because one of the things that Sean Keese and Black Men Read, they keep saying over and over again, shout out to them, by the way, go follow them if you're not following them right now. Follow him right now. One of the things that they keep bringing up in like their post chapter analysis is why they keep doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Why they keep making these mistakes. Why they keep doing this. Question. This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. And every time they say that, I'm thinking the same thing.
It's a reason.
You only knew. If you only knew. And so this is another one of those moments where if you only knew.
Yeah.
So again, this does for us as readers, gives us an opportunity to see them coordinate, see the team coordinate, see how they work, see how Starburst will fit in this team, and also again see how the team, their dynamics in terms of what are they using their powers for? Because once again, they are defenders.
Yeah,
they are not people who just go in, lay away stuff, and then just go home.
Yeah.
Like they are a coordinated team. Something at the end of Infinity, not Infinity War. At the end of Age of Ultron and the beginning of Civil War, we're seeing the team, seeing the Avengers. We're seeing them coordinate as a team.
Yep.
So they're using their powers, but they're using them very specifically to do specific things.
Yep, because you see Malcolm here giving them instructions.
Yes.
And telling them what to do, being the leader.
Yes.
And everybody following those directions and not going off course.
Not going off script.
Unless, which we don't see that really here, but I think you will kind of later, he gives these instructions, but if they have to go off course because of something that went wrong, they do that, but they do that with the best of their judgment.
With the best judgment.
Knowing, yeah.
Exactly. And their teammates trust them.
Yes.
Their teammates trust them.
Yes.
And so that's what you see happening here. Because again, they are not just superheroes, they are defenders. And their job is to do exactly what's been ordered for them to do.
Yes.
Again, going back to what you said and emphasized at the end of the last chapter, the last podcast, you got 3 things to do.
Yeah.
These are the 3 things you are assigned to do. That's all you do.
Yep.
That's all you do. So don't deviate off course. You can read them.
So 3 objectives: evacuate everyone out of the building, preserve the building and the drive, and eliminate the suspects by any means necessary. It doesn't say go back.
Right.
And eliminate suspects or anything like that.
Exactly. Okay. So right. So ammo, don't be going back. Trying to go ham on about it.
Yeah.
So again, those are the objectives. And so again, that is what they are assigned to do. Because UPD can't do it. The military can't do it. So now this is your responsibility. The security team in the bank couldn't do it. So now y'all do it. So again, I wanted their powers. And this is one of the things that you'll see more about and understand more about Malcolm as a trainer. Like, and they'll talk about this. Exercise restraint. Exercise restraint.
Yeah.
You can go ham. We know you can. Exercise restraint.
Yeah.
Control your powers.
That's where it really comes into play. Like, can you do that control? Wow, that sounds like how I'll be telling my students, like, control your voices.
Yeah.
Control your voice volume.
Yeah.
Control it.
Control it.
Go.
We know you.
And that's what he's telling them here.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's almost like, even though Ammo has been on the team for like a year, it's like he's still training him, because when he's giving all of the directions, Ammo and Starburst are with him.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
He put his trainees
with him.
I didn't notice that. And I wrote it.
You wrote it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Ammo's not about this stuff. Starburst, I need to see what you can do.
While also. That.
So it's like he's doing multiple
Wow.
things at one time.
I didn't notice that.
He's doing multiple things at one time.
That's crazy.
So, when everybody, and you also notice here, and they've done it before as far as saying their code names in battle. So in this book, you'll notice that for the most part, they're not saying their government names. They're not saying their real names when in battle. One, because they have on their uniform, so you can't see their face anyway.
Correct.
And so the reason they change their names and they go into their superhero name is because they're in the out now. And so they don't know who's listening, who's hearing. So if you hear somebody say, Symone, I'm like, I know it's Symone.
Right.
And so they have to say Starburst or Ammo or KC.
And that's why they're code names.
And that's why they are saying their code names during that time. So that's why, the change of names come. I think we have talked about that.
Yeah.
So just to reiterate it.
And so to understand when you see the flip back and forth, as much as I tried to make this happen, I think I may have messed up maybe once or twice in the book in terms of like where they are. And so the name that shows up when they're speaking or when it's written. Whenever they have their helmets and visors on, that's when you'll see the narrator call them by their code name. If they have their visor off, you will hear the narrator say their government name. I think again, I may have messed up maybe once or twice. And in matter of fact, I messed up once in this particular chapter, where Daisy is supposed to be Blitz. In that moment, but I called her by her government name. The narrator called her by her government name. So anytime you see the narrator call them by their real name, their visor is off. When the narrator calls them by their code name, the visor is on.
Yeah.
And so again, notice what I said, the narrator. So Malcolm's calling everybody out by their code names, but you still see like he says, Enchantra, you do this. Right. Sounds like a plan, Alexia responded.
Yeah, and even here, Ammo, Starburst, you're with me.
Symone's face lit up. They don't have their visors on yet. Their helmets and visors on. So he's calling them by their code names in this moment, but the narrator is letting you know they're not fully on.
They're still in the bus at this point, I think.
Yeah, and they don't have their visors on at that point.
Yeah, their cloaks on either, and they don't put their cloaks on until he gives out all of the instructions. Yeah, cloaks up, everybody ready, let's do this. And so then you get into where everybody's, how do they do it?
Everyone's cloaks, everyone double tap their chest. And their helmets envelop their heads. Everyone's cloak shimmered gold from head to toe as a reaction to his activation, except Symone's. Neither she nor her team noticed that her cloak did not activate. And
so when I read this part, it almost made me, I didn't know if I wanted to be mad at Symone or if I wanted to be mad at KC. And reason being is because as KC being her mentor, I feel like he should have caught that. But then also, I know she's like a kid in Jubilee. She should have felt. But then, I'm thinking to myself, has she ever tried it? Like, did they not... Like for orientation purposes, and she's going through this orientation for a while, but did they not actually go into Double W and to see how all that works? And
that's a very good point.
I would have had her test it out, you know what I'm saying? But then again, how could they have tested out? Because when they were having the conversation in the quarters, that's when they got the strike call to come in and talk about all that. And so I guess she couldn't have tried it on, but yeah, I almost feel like that's something that he should have caught.
Yeah, no, what he should have done is said, no, you're not going on this mission with us. You still got some other stuff to do, that at least, thinking about it out loud. But also too, he doesn't even know how long it's been since she got out of orientation. Yeah. And so there's no telling whether she's got a chance to put on a uniform or been able to test the uniform, with a team. Like this is her first team, her first mission on her first day. Yeah. But
then, she was warned though. So my thing is, I feel like it's kind of on both of them because she was warned by Malaysia and Alexia that he's not going to be the mentor that you think he's going to be. He's going to expect you to learn to learn
on the fly,
to learn on
your own.
So kind of know, like, okay, I still feel the same. Like I would have been like, hey, I still feel the same. Am I on, y'all?
Right.
You know, before I go out here and get my behind handed to me.
But that goes to show how much that goes to show how much of a fighter she is. Like she's so ready for a fight, she doesn't care.
True.
She doesn't care about her safety that much. She hasn't really had to ... But that goes to show how itching for a fight she is, that she's not even in the moment of her revelry
of checking her safety.
Yeah, because she's reckless in that way. Okay. Like she's just like, all right, let's go.
Let's do this.
Let's go.
Like, nah, man.
Go. So double tap. All right, let's go. Like there's no double tap. Did it go the way it's supposed to go? No, it's double tap. All right, let's fight.
Let's go.
Let's fight.
Such a dummy. So then here was my deep question I wanted to ask you.
Deep. Okay.
Because we've said that this book, all of these characters are you, some version of you. And so then I wanted to ask the question, how does this Symone and this Malcolm relate to you, as far as like not making sure of something, but then also thinking you're the one responsible for someone else's actions?
Yeah. Okay.
Because once again, before you give the answer, because once again, the book is relatable to everybody. And so even though it's part of you, everybody deals with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to say she was careless, but just not double checking. Mm-hmm. But then also thinking that you're the one who's responsible for somebody else's actions or somebody else's not doing something correctly.
Yeah, no, I like both of those. So keep me on track. The first, going back to ammo in particular, shoot first, ask questions later. I have had a tendency over the course of my whole life of, rushing into things and not being as measured as I would like to be on some things, not on all things, but on some things. Mm-hmm. The latest thing that I can remember in doing something like that is when I, got the supervisor job at the place that I work at. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I kept, and sorry to get frustrated all over again. Let me tell you why. Because it's like you were telling me to do this thing, but then you turn right around and say something completely different, which is what the first thing I was doing in the first place. So it's like, which one do you want? You're confusing me.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I was being told was, you're moving too fast. Mm-hmm. You're not taking enough time to think through what you need to do. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay, cool. So let me learn to back up, because I know that is something I like to do. I like to rush in, kind of save the day, be the hero, all that kind of stuff. So, all right, let me back up. Let me be more measured. Let me think things through. And then as I'm backing up and thinking things through, I'm taking too long. I'm like, oh my God.
You're not in the middle.
You're not, so it's like, it's too hard to get over. Too low to get under. Get stuck in the middle, man. We gotta get stuck in the middle. And so, but that's been a thing for me is, I've always been kind of a chaos manager. And so for me, rushing in to do something has been for me, on the fly, what is the quickest way to solve this? Mm-hmm. And not always what is the best way. And so sometimes for me, I will go in, rush in, try to put a Band-Aid on something, and then come to find out that the real deeper issue needs to be a little more measured and a little more thought through, mm-hmm. which goes into a lot of some of the issues we were having when we were going through our little, I ain't gonna call it our big tiff, where I was trying to pacify you when in reality there was deeper work that needed to be done that was going to take more than just getting you some ice cream, for instance. Like, I'd be the one, I traveled to an hour and a half to her favorite, Baskin Robbins, that we didn't have one in town at the time. So I'm traveling an hour and a half because I'd have made this woman mad. I'm going down, go get her 2 buckets. Not 1, 2 buckets of ice cream. And
I was going to eat it.
She going to tear them up. Let's be clear. I brought them things home. They go like, No, you know what? No. Not that you didn't even care. You saw them in the freezer. You wasn't give me the satisfaction. Yeah, I'm kidding. You gotta do the ice cream for me. Piss me off. So I'm sitting here in my feelings. You ain't even gonna tell me thank you for getting the ice cream.
Nice. Tell me to go get it.
Yes, exactly.
I was grateful though. I was gonna eat it.
You go and tow both buckets up. Let's be clear, both of them gone.
Best ice cream ever.
Right,
or sherbet, or
right, whatever. But at the end of the day, it was a pacifier that was meant to be a quick salve, and it ended up not being a salve at all because it didn't solve the bigger issue, which we can't even figure. I can't even know what it was at the time at this point. But that was me. It's all, how can I solve this as quick as possible? Because going back to, again, the therapeutic journey that I went through, a lot of the issues that I had, I didn't know how to talk through, didn't know how to discuss without feeling like, the world's going to be mad at me, the world's going to have issue with me. Mm-hmm. And so, with issue with me expressing myself. And so rather than try to talk it through, I would try to that quick as possible. What can I do to make it up?
Yeah.
What can I do? What I gotta do? Mm. That was me. I was that dude. And so that's why the quick rush to try to get things solved and get things done right away, and not think it through, rushing through it, because again, that just speaks to how I would solve problems in the past. Mm-hmm. Me being a therapist, I know this ain't how I tell my people in therapy to do it, but this was me. You find problem, meet solution. What's the quickest way to solve this so we can move on with our day, rather than, no, we need to actually sit in this for like a month and talk it out, get mad, come back to the table, get mad again, come back to the table. We ain't mad no more. We can talk about it and not get our feelings hurt. Solve the problem for real. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the rush came from. Taking on responsibility. I think it's not so much about taking on the responsibility of someone else as much as it is, if I'm responsible for you, then how you perform is a reflection of me.
Okay. I see. Yep. I see that.
Which is selfish. If you to a certain extent, it's selfish and selfless to a certain extent. Because if I'm responsible for you, then that means that someone's looking at me and watching how I'm performing, as I'm trying to train you. So how you act, they're not gonna come at you.
Yeah, they're gonna come at.
They're gonna come at me.
Yeah.
Why? You the one trained her that way. You the one did that.
I get
that
where
way.
you're coming from with that though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how they act is
a reflection of how you train them. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, that's how we are with our kids.
Yeah.
How y'all act, and it's a reflection on us.
Yeah.
And so you gotta act right.
Yeah. It is what it is. And so,
but once again, you can't control everybody.
Exactly.
Everybody has their own character. Everybody does what they want. You can't make someone do what you want them to do.
Yes.
All you can do is give them the information and see what they do with that. Absolutely.
And so a lot of where that comes from is a lot of like the mentorship of, especially people in church, when we were trying to do discipleship and trying to do leadership and things like that, trying to measure how a person is growing in their faith, growing in the ministry, growing in their, daily activities and things like that. And feeling a sense of responsibility, because we are our brother's keeper, and how they grow up in their faith. I would take it personal. Again, going back to what you just said, people, all you do is give them the information. All you do is give them the information. They have to make the choice. Do you want to do this, or do you not want to do this? Do you want to, listen to what's being said, or are you just gonna let it go in one ear and out the other? It's made, and that has given me much more a satisfaction in teaching others, whether it be therapy, ministry, wherever, because I'm free. I'm free now, because I can't make you. I can't make you do nothing. I tell my clients that all the time. I can't make you do anything I'm telling you to do. I love my phrase. I ain't got a dog in the fight. I'm just a guy riding in the car, playing on my phone, looking out the window. You driving. All I can do is tell you where to go. That's, let me give y'all a little tidbit.
Yeah.
I know that I can link my phone up to my car and make it the GPS tell me what to do. But it's something about having a navigator next to me telling me what to do that just makes driving so much easier. I don't know what it is about my wife having the phone telling me, go here, go there, do this, 3 miles, look at this, name of the street, da 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 da. And I'm like a monster in the road. Like, okay, got it. This lane, okay, got it. Like, I don't know what it is about that. And so, I tell people all the time, like, I'm just a guy in the car. I have the map. Mm-hmm. I can't make you drive where I'm telling you to go. I can't make you get in the lane like with our friend, who was driving this weekend. I tried to tell this man to move in the lane that he was supposed to go in. He was missing. I gave up. We missed our turn twice.
Yeah.
But I can't make
but you. Hey, we were meant to go.
We were meant to go. We were meant to go to Gillies. We were meant to go to Gillies. So it ended up working out.
It's all good.
It was a great time. It was a great time. Everything worked out the way it was. That's why I wanted to go anyway. So it all worked out. I probably messed them up on purpose. But don't tell him I said that. He ain't gonna listen to the podcast no way. But that's how it is. Okay, that's how it is. Like I'm just a guy in a car. I'm not driving it. I don't have my foot on the gas. I can't make you do anything. That takes the pressure off of me to be responsible for your change, responsible for your growth. I want you to be successful. I want you to succeed. And that's why I don't like the rating system that we have on my job, because I tell people all the time, like, you may come into this therapy session and you want to give me a 1-star because you don't feel like I gave you anything this week. That's not a reflection on me. I did my job. I told you what you needed to hear. You just didn't like it. So you want to give me a 1-star because I told you something you didn't like, and what you heard is not what I said. But I can't control that. That's why I'm gonna get. We start getting back on that system again. Like, listen, we gotta take that out. Like, we can't. This is a subjective thing. You can't be giving people a Likert scale. Do you like her? Do you like what your therapist said this week? No, 1 star. Now I'm getting in trouble because you ain't want to do the homework. Yeah. But anyway, I'm getting on top of it. The point is, that is what's been freeing for me, and what we get to see more of in the book is that, I'm not responsible for you doing what you, after I've told you what to do. In this particular moment, he ain't told her nothing. So
very true.
Does that make you a good leader or a bad leader?
Well, I mean, like they say, it's not going to be the type of mentorship that you think it is. He's going to put you out there, see what you do, and then maybe give you some feedback. It's almost like it's not like a lecture and then do. It's almost like a do and then a lecture.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And so I asked that because, a lot of people beat themselves up for the character that they have. And that's, like, we've talked about this on a couple of podcasts, the fact that the book is the way that you made it. It's a Black character book, but these Black characters are all of the things. We are happy. We are sad. We are depressed. We are joyful. We are selfish. We are selfless. We are responsible. We are irresponsible. We're all of the things. And so I think that's a major reason of why I really like this book, because that's what it is. And the fact of the matter is that is okay, because everybody on this team is different. I mean, we see that with their powers. Like, everybody has a job to do, and their job is not always the same in each battle.
Right.
Because there are going to be times when we see later that you're going to need the mammoth more than you're going to need Malaysia, or you're going to need Alexia more than you're going to need Ammo, or you're going to need Ammo more than you need Symone. It's like, it's everybody. It depends on the mission. It depends on the situation. And then it may change even in all of that. And so it's like you said, it's like they're a team and they trust each other.
Right. You have no choice.
Trust each other. I don't know if they trust Duncan all the way. But yeah, I mean, they're about to go in the battle. And then we meet Stephanie again because they need her help. I love it. I can't. I'm not gonna.
Y'all gonna need to go see Sean Keys and Black Men Read.
I'm not gonna get over that.
That's too funny to me.
But yeah, they do need Stephanie for this battle. It's something that they are trying to see because there are 10 floors. And so I think what are they trying to see? Where the supercomputer is? Where the supercomputer is.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Back in, then I copy that. Stephanie responded to her ears. Let's go through every floor and okay, yeah. They're needing her to get a hold of UPD because I guess they can't.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, Stephanie is a very important character. Like if Stephanie wasn't there, they wouldn't be making it.
Right.
Because she is like Malaysia, the eagle. She's their eyes, their ears, and then their hands.
Yep. Working all the gears and all the behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so before I say this, is there anything you want to say before that? So y'all are gonna see that Carl the Mammoth is one of my dudes. Like that is he is my one of my favorites. And I've said this on a podcast. I like all of them. God dang. I done said all of them my favorite.
Yes.
I mean, but Carl is so calm and cool, but just so strong and such a teddy bear at the same time. And I can't wait to see him do more.
Right.
And you're going to see him do more. But I wanted to mention, I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to say about Casey's flusteredness.
Oh, sure. Yeah, so
Casey can't concentrate,
one of the questions the question that I asked was why is Malcolm infatuated by
Let's
Symone?
go. Come on, we there.
So
y'all, Casey get flustered, y'all.
Yes, he does.
You talk about it. I'm gonna try to find it.
No, yeah, he gets flustered. I got it.
It's when they're getting ready to go off.
Yeah.
I'll meet you guys from the staircase. She levitates. And she flew toward the stairs. So here's Casey. Oh, so she flies. He says this out loud, and he gazed at Starburst, stunned by her graceful exit. And this is what he's thinking. How did I miss her flight ability in her demos? Because, Negro, you ain't paying attention. You paying attention to the wrong things.
The wrong things.
Ain't asking your questions.
Right.
Not speaking your mind. So you're forgetting to mentor.
Already.
You being a butthole. That's what you're being.
Okay, we ain't even finished.
Get your head in the game. Let's go, Casey. Ammo telling you this.
Ammo telling you to get your head in the game.
Come on.
No, Casey said to Ammo to shake off his own infatuation.
Come on, dude.
Right. And
Lord have mercy.
So again, remember, he is enamored by the power signature, right? And again,
and her body.
I mean, she fine, but so is everybody else. Alexia fine, like Malaysia fine, like all of them, all of them hot in their own way. And so, that aside, yes, all that, but at the same time, that power signature. If you go back to and so, truth moment. I haven't read the Twilight books, so I don't know anything about what was written. I always know the books are 10 times better than the story. That's why I'm really hoping I get the right person to do these books, because I really want it to do justice. But and so I only know by the movies. If you remember in the first Twilight book, Lord bless it. Oh, Edward kept saying, "There's something about you. There's something about you. There's something I can't. You're like what do you say? You're like a drug or something like that. That's the same sentiment that you're seeing here. There's something about her that's just making him like, what is this? Same thing with Hancock. That when he found when Hancock found his mate, something about you. What is this? Why am I so? And she's still trying to push him off. Gone now. Go somewhere. Married. Back up.
Gotcha.
And so what's going on here? Why is this happening? I don't understand it. So when you see the infatuation going on between him and her, it's about the power, but he doesn't know it yet.
And this is where you see part of it. I'm going to read this a little bit.
Where you at?
Well, I'm on 61.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's taught, this is where he's starting to feel her energy again. And this is how he finds out she's not cloaked.
She's not cloaked. Yes.
While trying to regain his footing, Casey saw that Starburst had fallen to the ground behind them at the back of the room. He sensed her energy rushing through her veins like a raging volcano. And the reason why that's important is because he shouldn't be able to sense any energy from any of them because they're cloaked.
They're cloaked.
And the cloaks protect them from the outside. And so even it protects them from other powered people.
Yes.
Including KC. That part of his power is to sense what is in you. And so Casey realized, though, oh shit, I can feel her energy. She's not cloaked. Before he could warn his teammates, his adversary took advantage of the distraction, flipped backward, and kicked Casey in the head, making him stumble backwards. And so I guess it wasn't so much that he was just infatuated her at that point. He just noticed.
Yeah.
He noticed the problem.
He noticed her because, again, she got hit. She wasn't supposed to get hit that hard. Because if she was cloaked,
or even if she got hit that hard, it wasn't supposed to affect her as
much as it did. Yeah. Right. Because the cloak is supposed to take on the brunt of the force that you feel. So that way you can kind of recuperate a lot better. Even if you're like tumbling, rolling backward, you're not supposed to take on damage that way. And so when he sees her go down,
he can't get back from that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of worry. I think it's because he does care.
Yeah. He cares about his teammates.
Yeah.
And so just like if ammo was going down and he saw ammo was going down, he'd be like, oh crap. And so it wasn't so much that he was infatuated with her. It's like you said, he saw her go down and he felt her energy. And it's like, why do I feel her energy? Oh, she's not cloaked. And so before he could do anything about it, he gets hit.
Yeah.
And so again, in that moment, it's not that he's just like mesmerized by her. It's literally a tactical situation where she's hit.
And her energy is so strong. I'm realizing that's why he can't break away from that because her energy is that strong.
Right. There's something different about her power signature. He said this, he said it in chapter 2. There's something different about her power. I've never felt something like this before. What is this? And that's why he keeps going back to it. What is that power? I got it. If I don't figure out nothing else at the end of chapter 3, if I don't figure out nothing else, I'm going to figure out what that power is. Because I've never felt that before.
Yeah.
And so now when you feel it here, this is the first time that you get to see the synergy between their powers.
Between them two, because that's where it starts to their powers start to
mess with each other.
Yeah, so where is it? Right here. Casey could sense that his energy was unstable and he knew he couldn't hold it for long before he would need to run to keep from incurring damage from the blast it would create. As he scrambled to figure out what to do, he looked forward and saw Starburst's hair change from yellow to white. As he sensed her energy surge, Casey suddenly felt his hands tingle like the circulation had returned after going numb. He could sense the heat rays differently than he had before. As he moved one of his hands, the glowing ball of energy moved in sync. What the Freemas is this? How am I doing this? Casey couldn't believe it, but also couldn't afford to give himself a chance to process what had just happened. So it's almost like we talked about before, as far as, like why you made their characters the way you made them, as far as being grown and not so young, but mature. Like even though their powers are still not like fully developed how they think they would be, because when you get into the numbers, when the analyst gets into all those numbers, everybody still has room to grow. But because they are so mature, older, even though their powers still change, it's like they still have a bit of control over even controlling them in battle. Yeah. Like even if they were to just kind of malfunction during a battle, they still know, they still have that maturity level in them where if this happens, okay, I need to think on the fly. What else can I do? And you see that a lot in here, especially in this battle too, because when Symone is knocked on her behind, like she gets back up.
Oh, I got
but
something
what
for
I
that
do,
ass.
I know, but what she does not realize, that's what she says. But she doesn't even think about the fact that she's not cloaked. Why is this taking on so much damage? She didn't even mention that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Sorry. Right. And what it is, I just wrote this down. Mission first. They are trained mission first. What will probably going on in Malcolm's head in that moment, which he'll talk probably, I think he says it at the end of the chapter, which I'm not trying to get to the end, but let me see. No, he didn't say it. But what he's probably thinking in his head is the analyst is going to talk to me about this. So when I go and talk to the analyst, we'll go through the tape, figure out what happened. Because again, he already knows this is. I can't focus on trying to figure out what's going on right now. I got him trying to hit me. I got Starburst on fell on the ground. Ammo getting his behind toe up. Got to make sure the supercomputer stays secure. I can't focus on why I'm changing right now. Just go with it.
Yeah, and also we can't afford mistakes like that because we can't afford to lose anybody.
We can't afford to lose anybody.
Either malfunction or forgetting.
Right? Exactly. So I can't worry about this right now. We need to solve this. I'll go and talk to the analyst about it later.
I wonder, did she go ahead? I wonder, did she go ahead and double? She didn't. It doesn't say where, because the battle was basically over by then.
Yeah. At that point, that's when she tries to double tap to take the cloak off, and then that's when the cloak comes on. And so, but to go back on the powers beginning to affect each other. Malcolm, the powers of, I'm reading off my paper. Malcolm and Symone's power to react with each other. Neither can understand what's happening to them. The definition for the word synergy is that whatever you guys are putting together is greater than the sum of its parts. And so what you're seeing happening here is a synergistic.
And I mean, that makes sense because 2 + 2 is what? 4.
Exactly.
So the parts come together to make something better.
Make something better, greater than what powerful. It is. Exactly. Which goes to the definition of the word affinity. I went and looked it up because I wanted to make sure that, because I remember writing it in my journal, but I didn't have my journal at the time, so I went back and looked at it. The word affinity means to have a knack for, drawn to, or a liking toward. Similarity of characteristics suggesting a relationship, and natural attraction. And so what you're seeing happening among Malcolm and Symone is a synergetic interaction between their powers. Their powers are two sides of the same coin. And I'll tell y'all about the other stuff at the end of the book.
You're a punk, man.
I'm just saying, because I'm not going to spoil it for y'all yet, because we got a long way to go.
We do.
But I'm going to just say it like this. The powers are not just affecting them. And so the affinity theory is more than what it seems. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, because y'all ain't going to remember nothing I said in chapter 5. Okay. We're going to be so far gone, we ain't even worry about it.
Okay.
But this is the first time that you're seeing Malcolm and Symone's powers interacting with each other, because you got to remember, Malcolm's power is the ability to sense.
It's even more than that.
It's so much more than that.
More than that.
We're going to sense, manipulate.
This
man, literally when he says kingdom come, like, I can't wait for y'all to see what that name really means. I just can't wait.
That's when we'll bring the actual object in here and show them.
I can't wait. Really? I cannot wait. Because, man, I'm telling y'all, man, like this, y'all think this Joker powerful now. Woo! But anyway, so the whole point behind watching this interaction is that you're seeing how I don't want to say it like this, but I'm going to say it like this anyway. His messing with her is messing with him.
And he's not even trying to mess with her. He's not even
trying. And that...
It's just something, I feel like it's something new that his powers are sensing. And so because of that, it may not even be him. his powers is what's like drawing.
Yes.
He may not even be trying to.
Yes. And his power, and because of his particular power set. Now, this is what we got to keep in mind, especially when we get to book 2. His power set in particular makes it where it's almost inevitable that he would be the first to be affected. Mm-hmm. And because you've asked this question many a time, but I'm not going to answer it here. I'll just tell you about it after we get off the podcast, because I don't want to spoil nothing. Mm-hmm. But but his powers are the reason why he's affected the way he is, and is affected the soonest and the most impactfully. It's because of his powers. Their powers are synergistic in such a way to where she's affecting him, he's affecting her. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. Oh, see, I wrote it down right here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wrote it down right here. So the question that I asked in light of what we see between Malcolm and Symone, well, before I go there, we see a little bit more of Malcolm's wall come down.
Yeah, is it here where they're talking, where he's saying we can't afford mistakes like that, don't want to lose you in battle on technicality?
Mm-hmm. Starburst felt the ping in her heart. Oh, you care about me? Mm-hmm. Casey chuckled. Care about everyone on my team.
And he even goes, when it goes down here, when she actually double tapped Simone's headpiece, however, stayed in place when she double tapped. She double tapped her chest and her cloak shimmered from head to toe. They all looked at her, the whole team, and she shook and she looked at everyone inside. Great. Now you want to turn on? Ugh, they're going to put me back in orientation. And Malcolm sat down across from her and replied, at least you came out alive. You kicked ass today. Excellent job, all of you. And so you see a little bit of, I wouldn't even say the wall is coming down. I would say layers. I feel like he has like layers of
he's an onion.
A wall. Yeah. And so it's like peeling. And so it's getting thinner and thinner. And it's like it's almost starting to look transparent.
Yeah. And again, this goes to show that Malcolm is not the hard ass that people may think he is when you're first reading the book and seeing the steely demeanor and all that stuff and the anger that he showed Malik. He's not really a hard ass. It's just like they all said, he's not the mentor you think he's going to be. He's not going to be here holding your hand the whole time. Mm-hmm. You know, he kind of reminds me of, I wish I remember this man's name, off The Rookie. The one who's training Lucy.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
That's who it is. Like, tell me, please find this man's name, because it's going to bother me. It's not Gray. That's the sergeant. It's not. I don't think it's Howard.
It's not Howard. Howard Booth. What? No, Howard Booth.
No, that's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. What's that man's name? What is it? What's his name?
So we got Tim
Bradford. Officer Bradford.
Yeah.
Bradford. Yeah, that's kind of how Malcolm is.
I can see that.
You know, he's not being a hard ass for hard ass sake. He knows what his teammates need to be successful, and so he's just giving that to them. But he's not walking alongside them and holding their hand. Like, he's just gonna be like, okay, go figure it out.
Yeah.
Then I'll just tell you whether you're right or wrong. And so again, he's not a hard ass, which we see here. No, I mean, it's all right. We make mistakes. Just make sure it don't happen again. And everybody, y'all did a great job.
Yeah.
And
thank God, nobody died. Nobody, except for the officer at the beginning, though. But that wasn't their fault.
That wasn't his fault. No, it was his fault because he wouldn't cloak. They told him to put the cloak on.
No, I'm saying that wasn't the team's fault.
Oh, no. That wasn't team fault. No. That was his fault. People came in to lay the waste to the security officer. So, just put your cloak on, man. Yeah. He would never cloak. The cloak. He was like, I don't need to. Like, this is why.
It ain't have to happen, though.
It's better for you to need it. And for you to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because if you don't have it, it's too late.
Exactly.
Once you need it, it's too late. I'm trying to quote a commercial I read about life insurance.
Oh my gosh!
I'm for real. Listen, being in this house, watching the First Take every morning, they pandering to 55-year-olds. So this commercial been coming on for like the past 9 months now, saying it's better for you to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Because once you need it, it's too late. I'm like, facts.
I agree. I agree.
And so, so yeah, no, that's all I got for the chapter.
Well, as you get as you get to the end of the chapter, you start to see Malcolm. He's not questioning himself, but he's questioning what is going on with him now, because he's noticing something different. I've never been able to move energy before. I've always been able to stop it, contain it for a little while, but I've never been able to move it. So this is new for him. And I like how you did this, because it's going to his thoughts, but then it all of a sudden, as I was doing it, they're both saying that this is starburst now. I've never been able to raise my star's temperatures that high, that fast before, especially to knock out a cloak that fast. This is new. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened, but damn. So then this punk behind chick, the very last quote of the very last thought of the book. Wonder what it would be like to make him yield to me.
Let's go! Let's go!
Look. Whoa! I ain't gonna say nothing yet. She gets on my nerves because she's so, like, I mean, I get it. And, you know, we raise our girls to be, you know, independent and, you know, to think for them, but not to be cocky about it. And that's what she is. And I just want her to knock down a couple of notches just a little bit.
This again, you gotta recall she's a prize fighter, and as much as I think what it is, not for you, but just in general, she's different from everybody else in that, for the most part, she didn't come into being a defender for the sake of like wanting to defend the city. Like you don't read "I want to save the world" from her. She's looking for the next challenge. She's looking for the next.
And that's why she wanted to be on a team.
Yeah, that's why she wanted to be. She's looking for the next beat down. Like she's been in prize fighting, and we'll talk about that in greater detail when she gives the origin story. But she's been in prize fighting. She's fought so many people. Been fighting her whole life. Been in the gyms her whole life. That's all she knows is fighting. And so, you know, being on the team, as soon as she saw the wall, she's like, ooh, look at all these people I can get up against. And now I've heard stories about Malcolm. I've heard stories about Kingdom Come. And I've seen what he's done. I've watched the tapes. I've seen TV. Right, that's exactly what
this chick.
Yes. He's like, I can't wait.
I can't wait till we get into that chapter.
Like he's the one. Like
I'm ready.
That's the run that it's like, I need that trophy on my wall. Like that's what it is. It's a trophy for her. If I could get him, I will have arrived. And so that I think is what makes her, and even Malaysia gonna say this, she's built different than the rest of us. Like for the rest of them, you know, for the most part, you know, saving the world, fighting, you know, trying to make a difference. Everybody has their reasons for why they joined the company. Hers is simply, I'm just glad they thought of me because I'm bored.
Yeah.
I'm out here fighting these peons, man. I'm bored, man. Can I get another? I can't fight people the way I want to. I'm going to get arrested. So now I got a license to beat up on folk. So I'll at you, boy. Thank you.
That sounds like
Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah.
Who we fighting today?
Gosh.
So, yeah, man. No, but that's all I got for this chapter, man.
Yeah,
This is a good one. This is a good one. Again, this was a chapter was supposed to just give us the opportunity as the readers to see Starburst in her element, to see the team in their element, and to see, again, some of the team dynamics and recognizing what they are there to do. Again, seeing how all the team works, see how Malaysia, you know, she didn't really do much in this one. But she was the eyes and ears to be like, well, the eyes to be like, okay, you know, you're in this room, you're in this floor. see the mammoth do his thing, and all of it's about exercise and restraint. Do the job that you're meant to do. And Chantra, with all the power that she has, she kept people back. She made sure to create a wall where the people could walk out but not come in. You know, told people get away and built the barrier and all that kind of stuff. Then went up and then, you know, saved ammo from you know, getting the beat down after the fact. Watching the mammoth catch the guys, you know, at the end, and then bring them back down safely, and then, you know, escort them inside.
Jumped up, didn't
he jumped
like the Hulk.
Went and got him. Seeing Blitz, Blitz, Daisy go in and just make sure in all the floors, is everybody safe? Is everybody safe? Is everybody safe? Are you safe? Are you safe? And just going up and down the ways in case the building did to go into self-destruct mode. And so again, you're seeing the team dynamics. You know, I often would think that others would think, why not just let Blitz fight the people? You know, I mean, she's so fast, can't nobody catch her. Why just let her do, you know, her thing? And so again, yeah, that's true. That could have happened, but at the same time, somebody could have got the drop on her too.
Yeah, everybody has a weakness somewhere.
Yeah, and all she gotta do is get popped.
Yeah, that weakness can be exploited. Like, yeah. All they got to do is see. It almost reminds me of Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and Shaw at the end when I don't fight. He reminds me of the emulator in that.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's actually where I got the idea.
Oh, for real? Yes. And so everybody has a weak point, and so I mean, that somebody could easily see her pattern and just. It's almost like, have you ever like laid down in the bed and just stared at the fan, and then just all of a sudden you're actually able to go along with the fan?
I love that feeling, by the way. Like, that's so cool. Like,
so I know, and you can actually like pinpoint one blade and just follow that blade. Somebody can find that pattern with Blitz. Like, they can find a weak point with all of them, and they kind of do. We're going to see that at the end of the book.
I mean, isn't that how every video game is built? Every bad guy has a weakness that if you learn it, if you exploit it, that's how you win. And so, you know, that's how every video game is built. Like, you're not going to build well, I mean, you could, I guess, but you're not going to build an impossible bad guy to the point where you're now trying. Now you can't beat them regardless of how strong you get. And so every person has a weakness. And yes, Blitz is the fastest person that could just go in and lay waste to everybody if she could. But at the same time, that's why the cloaks are so important in my stories. Yeah, because the cloaks are what give people the tactical advantage to figure you out. And once they have you figured out, if they can last long enough, they can take you down. And so again, that's what goes back to what I said before. I didn't want to create people who are so powerful that they're invincible. You know, everybody's got a weakness if you learn to exploit it. And so to that end, you know, Blitz could have been the one to go in and do this and do all the beatdown stuff. But again, in doing so, what happens if the building does go into self-destruct mode? Now you got all these people trapped in this building, and where you could have used her to get everybody out, but now you wanted her to be the one that's fighting. So now all these people are in danger. Or with Enchantra, yeah, she could have, she could have done something in the building with them at the time. But then what happens if the building goes into self-destruct mode? Now you got all these people standing on the outside who don't know no better because they gawking at everything and want to, got FOMO. And so now the building goes, top down. And now you got all these civilians that could have been rescued had you been out there doing that. And so again, it goes back to everybody's got a role to play.
Yes. And that's one of the main things that Malcolm is trying to teach them, because they even talk about the fact, they don't talk about it yet. I think they're going to talk about it soon, though. The fact that Malcolm's powers are just so crazy powerful, but he exercises restraint, and he also teaches them to do the same thing. Yeah, he can lay waste to any and everybody.
All at once. But he chooses to exercise restraint. And so that's what he teaches them. He lives by that, and he expects them, to do the same. To do the same, because that's what they're there to do. They're not there to be the most powerful people on earth and everybody bow down to us in fear. No, you go live your life, you do what you do. And then, if you decide that you want to do something wrong, that's where the police are going to call us and be like, hey, come step in and take care of this. We take care of it and go home. We're not trying to build a kingdom. We just want people to live free.
Yeah. Everybody.
Don't take my choice away from me.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, listen, as always, we appreciate y'all so much for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have not gotten a copy of the Affinity Theory yet, go and get you a copy of the Affinity Theory wherever you get your books. If you want to get them directly from me, you can go to the TikTok shop or Shopify to get a book directly from me. Facebook. Oh yes, and the Facebook store, in the IG store as well, the Instagram store as well. So those three places you can go and get a book directly from me if you so desire. You can go, if you go to any of my bios or among the various social media pages and go to Linktree, that's where all my links are. So just go to that one place. That's where all my links are at. And so you can find even the podcast there if you so desire to find the link there. But again, thank y'all so much for your love, for your support, for your questions, for your comments. Is there anything on the list that you wanted to go over today? Or you want to wait till?
Wait, because I haven't even.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna go through the list and start answering questions as we see them. And so again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop down in the comment box below to let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what your analyses are, what you're thinking about the story as well.
Yeah, and if you're reading it along with us, what do you think will happen?
What do you think will happen?
What are you wondering?
Yeah, all that. But yeah, man, thank y'all so much for watching. And as always, if you can't see the good,
see the good.
We love you guys. Peace out, homies.
Peace out.